Okay, well, okay, first off, I'm not flying these jets. That's what really interrupted you, or us, rather.
Sure.
What do you mean?
Watching the cat.
Can you guys hear that? I mean, no, no. I mean, I
On a
know.
scale 1 to 10, it's really loud right now.
I mean, but I honestly don't think they can hear it.
Can you guys
I don't think they
hear
do.
the actual
There,
jets
there's,
that are
there
actually
is, what do you call that? Noise cancellation. I really don't think they can hear. They can't hear the jets. For those of you, just so you guys know, it's really loud because they literally do I know flying
Scuba
overhead.
said yes,
Oh
and so
yeah.
did what's his name?
Oh, okay.
Scott probably really meant he could hear that. Like literally the
Well, Bruce
floors
says no, he
rumbling.
can't.
Yeah.
Okay, some of you can and some of you can't. I guess it depends on your sound system or
Okay.
whether you're wearing headphones or not. I guess.
Okay. So back to the MYK and the Swede and his girlfriend. Bottom line is I will admit, and I'm just gonna say it, that it appeared I was like, man, that's kind of harsh what Mike was saying in the beginning. But once you listen to the entire story, then you're like, you get through her story, and there can only be so many scenarios for this girl. She, in my opinion, the Filipina was very toxic. Even you said there's something wrong with her. Something's not right about her story. She was over.
Okay, well, what Heidi's saying is, okay, first off, I don't care what nationality you are. If you're in the wrong, you're in the wrong. Okay.
Right.
Now, two things you have to consider. She's female, which again, by default, we're a patriarchal society. And then she's a foreigner to you guys anyway, which means her culture is different. However, I'm in that culture and I'm familiar with that culture. Now, both sides are not innocent. I'm not saying the other guy's innocent either. However,
There's no reason to ever hit a woman, and that was shown on camera. That's the one thing. Mike did make a statement that there is, what was his base word? I want you to say it that way I don't get it wrong because I know what I thought I heard. But there's never any reason for anybody to hit, not a man hitting a woman and not a woman
well,
hitting a man. I want to make
there
that
there is
statement.
no reason for physical confrontation
We know it
of
happens.
any sex.
And yes, I understand there's always a where a woman puts herself into a man's shoes and then the time where she's going to get hit and that's when she's whining. Not always, okay? Just understand it took two to tango in that. Whether he's wrong, she's wrong. I'm sure if he'd have recorded, he'd have caught stuff that she did. That's all we're saying. And in a case like that, never a right time to actually hit anybody. And I wanted to make that statement. But she did blow through a lot of money.
Okay,
That was a lot of money.
so we're gonna go through this real. We're gonna go through this a little bit. When she said a lot of money, I mean, how much is 200,000?
All right, you can't go by that. The girl makes 15,000 pesos a month, and she blew through a half a million pesos in
No, no,
less
no.
than 60 days.
Babe,
That's a lot of
I
money
understand. It's a
for
lot.
her.
Even,
I'm not okay. Four
babe.
thousand. I get that,
Okay,
but we don't know why she got
what I'm
that.
saying is even that. Okay, 4,000
That's a lot for her.
for a
And
lot. It's a lot for everybody. For example, okay, 4,000 is worth about. Okay, this really happened in the U.S. I left my phone on the by the couch on the table by the couch.
yes, Brent, that was really low.
Okay, and the cats walked over it and ordered me a $4,000 computer. No, really,
It happened
not
in
lying.
Florida.
They
Yeah.
ordered me a $4,000 gaming computer on Amazon. And do I have the money? Yeah, actually, I do. I had it. I was, I was like, actually, honestly, I was half hoping they won't cancel the order. Put it that way. Like, can I afford it? Yes, but is it something I needed? No, I have a gaming computer that I already have, so I don't need another one. But point being, 4,000, even for somebody of somewhat
Middle class.
upper middle class, I would say,
Right.
you can't afford it. Like, why? You, I'm not just gonna grab 4,000
Right,
and
but
put it
on
in a toilet.
average, unless it's like the P and some of these other women that are being sent money, I mean, these women are being sent large amounts of money. Usually, what people don't realize is when the guys get around, there is expectations out of them. Some of them have even been known to hide from the guys because they arrive and they've sent all this money. And when you accept a gift like that, it's really odd. But the fact she knew that it was a lot of money. She took it. Plus, her man gave her money. And then she wanted to whine and cry about having to provide receipts. And I get that. We had a discussion about the receipt thing. Most stores in the Philippines do not have it. And MYK said, well, then she needs to go to a store that has it. She's somewhere in Siargao or
Okay,
something.
well-
That's not always a possibility. So we sat there and we talked about it and watched the Rafi Tufa. We watch them all the time. And Mike had a lot of good points on that, but it's the scenario of could she have been cheating? The 500,000 pesos in a short period of time that the boyfriend gave her. I could tell there was something wrong because she screamed about him returning for the baby. And she's like, you didn't return for the baby. You returned back here to go drinking and doing all that, which they weren't together anymore. So what he does on his own time, I definitely agree is up to him. So there was no ring on that finger, nothing. And of course, he was smart. He wants receipts, and I understand why they want receipts. And the actual situation of he wants a paternity test. Because here's the thing, Mike is absolutely right. If you don't ask a Filipino a direct question, they ain't gonna tell you squat. I have to play 20 questions with George. If I want something specific, if I just said, hey, can you get that over there? Can you get that bag over there? Get the bag of chips or something. Sometimes you have to be specific about
That's an example. It's not that bad, but just
no,
an
it's
example.
not that bad. But if you don't ask her direct, like, did you have a boyfriend during that time? No, you need to ask.
Yeah,
as
even
they said,
even
you
I
need to
say
ask.
that on my videos.
Did you have
ask directly?
sexual relationships
Do you
with
have a
any man
boyfriend?
within?
Are you married?
Well,
Are you single?
okay, but directly in a case like that, if you just said, hey, did you have a boyfriend back then? If she says, no, I didn't, she could have had somebody. Then it comes down to when did you have lovemaking last? You have to be more precise on what questions you
Right,
ask.
you have to
Because
be.
if you say that did you have it before me, might be a common question of an American or a foreigner or whoever. Then she say, oh yeah, no. You have to be specific. Did you have it 2 weeks before me, a day or two before me? If you don't ask it specifically, you more than likely aren't going to get the answer from the Filipino. A lot of
Yeah.
Americans and foreigners
And-
volunteer information, or we're like very giving of information. But anyways, I don't think
Yeah,
he was.
now this is odd. Funny she would not show her ID to the police.
Yes, very,
Okay.
very funny. Good morning.
Okay. Here's the thing. I was gonna break it down. What's going on
Oh,
here.
snap. Yeah,
But real
the
quick,
posters, we can't see the other one
yeah,
behind your big
Constantine 2,
head.
yes, it's coming. Yes. And Rambo 6 is coming. Okay.
Here, can you
Babe.
scoot over?
What do you think that means? No, honest question. I'm not being.
Two things. Probably she
facetious.
didn't have any ID. It's a very good possibility she didn't.
I'm sure she does. Just saying.
Oh, you have a thought. I mean, I
I
didn't. put
already have a
thought to that.
theory in that.
Okay, what's your?
and-
Okay, then tell us, please do.
No, babe,
Please shed your wisdom.
babe. I want to hear your side as an outsider expat.
Why do I feel she didn't show any
Correct.
ID?
Why did guys? You can comment.
Because I think
Why
she's
do you think?
guilty. And
Okay, George says maybe she's married. Okay, and that's valid. That's valid. That's a valid point.
that's possible. Yes.
Okay, now in all probabilities, okay,
Her name really isn't her name. Her
correct.
age isn't her age.
She
would
is
have been
not
my
who
first
she
thought.
claimed she is. Correct.
And that happens. Yeah,
she
that
is
happens.
pretending to be somebody else, and she has fake documents. AKA, if you have a fake identity, you can fake your Cinemar, which means you can claim you're single. But
Yeah.
correct.
It's really easy to do that, guys. It really is. Unless I see several pieces of documents.
Yeah, for those of you who are wondering, it was like, why won't she show her ID? It's not because she wants to get in trouble.
I also think
It's
that
because-
it didn't happen the way I think she just kind of.
Well, that it's more his story than hers, really.
But on the other hand, in the beginning, understand, guys, watch entire videos, watch entire shows like that, because in the beginning, she was painting a real good picture.
Bruce Davis. Hi, friends. Love you both. Thank you so much,
Thank
Bruce
you, Bruce.
Davis.
I'm going to put the link up here in a little bit so we can bring people in, but we want to get through the stories first.
All right, first, let's talk about.
She looked like an angel in the beginning of that. So you guys had actually seen that, yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about what's really going on in that situation. First off, your first red flag in that video or that story is 200,000 pesos
sent by a guy. Yeah.
Okay, what does that mean?
That's a lot of money, babe.
No, I know that. What do you think?
Maybe it was his baby.
Okay, well, yes, but even at that point, I believe the guy's simping. I mean, no offense to the guy. Now his baby or not. No, I'm not. Again, I'm a very fair guy. I really am, and I don't prejudge. Do I think a paternity test is needed? Yes, I believe so, for a lot of reasons. One, it's somewhat an LDR. Was yes and no an LDR relationship. He flies back and forth, that kind of deal. Hey, Carlos, thank you so much. Carlos Gonzalez Atano, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Real quick, I just want to announce it is what I thought it is. It is the South Korean supersonic jet. So that would explain it's Korean air show. They're here from the second. That's why you heard him yesterday.
Okay.
So the Black Eagles Air Show is right now. Philippine Air Force and the Republic of Korea Air Force are currently, it says at Clark Air Base, but it's at the airport in Mabalacat City from the 3rd to the 5th. Actually, they were probably just arriving, is what you heard yesterday. So it'll be for the next 2 days if you want to go. So that's what it's a supersonic. That would make sense that both air forces are here.
Like I said, the guy is swimming, but I understand again, paternity test is needed.
Yes.
I'm not being.
You would do that no matter where you are these days.
Being going on the side of machoism. No, it's not about that. It's about, honestly, there's something wrong in the relationship, and there's something wrong in the relationship, and odds are somebody's straight. And I'm not saying who, and I'm not saying whether he or, because remember, guys and girls,
sometimes ladies flap their lips
he
too
could have
much.
strayed too, except guys don't get pregnant.
Right. According to him, that's true. According to all of that, yeah, there was something going on.
And I get it. They're really not solid in their relationship, and I understand, but I'm not condoning it. But okay, so again, one, you have a guy simping. Okay, two, he demanded receipts, and like Heidi said, well, this is coming from Heidi. She said receipts are not. You can't get
them everywhere. I mean, I would disagree that they have to come from, because not every Filipina is going to, but she should at least have an accounting. And if I was her, I would be minimally.
Well,
you can actually. Here's the thing. Let me be honest with you. If I can, let me tell you what should happen, and you can. According to the Philippine tax government, you are to issue receipts on everything. You're to buy a receipt
by law.
By law, there is. Yeah, not all the sorry stores and places you enter have actually
forget the
filed their businesses.
Most stores don't.
I know, but they're supposed to.
Okay,
if they're running a business, they're supposed to.
And when they do, even Heidi questions like, "Is this a receipt?"
She could still take an accounting. I mean, I want to know where she spent $700,000 in the last few months.
And that's where I'm siding on the Filipina, not because she's right. The thing is, again, one, you can't get receipts, and when you do get a receipt, no, really, even Heidi questioned like, "Is this a real receipt?" I said, "Unfortunately, yes."
Well,
the Filipino receipts look like they're very generic.
Right.
And I'm not downing Filipinos, but they give you a very generic receipt. It could come from anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm not making this up.
Well, it's a lot of money, and it's hard saying. I personally said that I feel she gave it to the family, maybe tried to start a business. She squirreled some of it away, gave it to the husband that she might have, or the boyfriend. She squirreled it she squirreled it away. But the
Well,
bomb came in the end when the guy actually said he still cared for her and wanted to be with her.
right. Well,
So it looks like he still wanted to be with her, but he wants to find out if it's his baby and everything
well,
else.
and again, going on the Filipino side again, not because she's right or anything. Guys and women, even in the US, do you guys get receipts from your ex that you pay child support for?
Well, they're starting to do that
Well, I'm
now.
just saying, by default, no. By default. I say keyword by default.
Well, these days it's
The
very
reason
much.
why I say that is because okay, now before Heidi, no, I'm not making this up. I actually have 2 boxes set aside, and their only purpose in life is my receipts. Every receipt, everything I purchase, anything and everything, they go in those boxes, the receipts. Now that tells you the kind of
Hey,
person I
Ryan.
am. However, is that normal? Most of you guys say, oh no, I don't know anybody who does that. Maybe some of you do. But point being, by default, people don't save receipts. They just throw them away, even if they did.
That was a different one. Sarah said, didn't we hear she was a gambler? No, that was the previous Rafi Tufo. We'll probably start covering some Rafi Tufo shows because we actually had considered it before. But we'll probably only cover it if it's dealing in Filipinos. No, that was the previous one that was a gambler. So he did two almost back to back.
Yeah.
I think we're going to move on to the next one that we're going to cover. Let's pull up and talk about Paul. Old dog, new tricks. Because we still got Filipina P, Mark Thornton, and his Billy Buying Box, Bustle. And you want to start with Paul next?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let's just go into that. That way we're not going. We can go through comments here in a minute. All right. So Paul just covered, yeah, 1 second. Paul just covered a story. Do you deserve respect in the Philippines? And he went on about different things in there. A lot of people watch Paul. He's had his channel for over 5 years. He has grown as a vlogger. We watch Paul. He does interviews. He's linked in initially with, as you guys know, Geo, and they all conveyed at one point, including Mark Thornton. Him and Critter Hunter. They do a beach cleanup, and Paul over time has. I just want to say that he's only dropped a few shorts, and recently he dropped a short of Baby May in her bikini, and I kind of felt like it tied into the situation because he just married, it's his wife and everything, but Paul has some words of wisdom today. Speaking of the what do you call that? The Dumageddon Godfather. Wow.
The puppy love at first and infatuation, and then if they get through that cycle, then it might turn into true love. But love and respect are two totally different animals. And I'm not going to go into some sort of deep psychological thing here because I'm not schooled to do that. But these are observations that I've made where you can either earn or lose respect over here. And I'm going to speak specifically to men.
I was trying to figure where this
And I'm
tied
going to
in.
speak specifically to men who are dealing not only with other expats or other people, but are also entering into relationships. Because that's one of the major reasons that men come over here for is they feel like they've run out of options in America. They've been to Walmart enough. It's not the, as far as the females go, it's not exactly the freshest selection. And so, you know what, I think I'll bug over here. And it may not just be the Philippines, it could be Thailand or Cambodia or Brazil or wherever. But the selection is a little fresher.
And there's their way to go, Paul. So it looks like Paul did not find his freshest selections at Walmart, and he came and he got Baby May. They're happily married. I was still trying to figure. We would agree with Paul in the situation, and this is his most recent video. I would agree with Paul on the big reason guys are coming here, but that's not everybody. Of course, you've got couples that are coming here. You have returning Filipinos. It just seems like that because most of the vloggers are putting out these dating videos. That's how they're getting their numbers, talking about guys that fall and all of this. And it's something that everybody actually wants to check out and everything. But Paul is a success story. I thought the reference to the Walmart was what did you think when he said that? And then went straight into talking about he used to pick up the check all the time. So it's just kind of like in a short period of time he went from one
Okay,
side
I
to
have
the other.
nothing against Paul, nor
No.
is this a dig at Paul.
No, it's not.
However, the thing is,
We're just
I mean,
saying
no
he's-
offense to anybody or in particular, because again, remember, I'm very neutral. I mean, by default, like I said, even if it goes against to my own beliefs, right is right, wrong is wrong. Now, I'm not saying he's right or wrong. I'm not saying that. Whenever somebody says something, the first thing I
Hey,
always
Mike.
say, look at yourself in the mirror before you say something. Is that something you would say to yourself? And I'm being honest here. And again, Heidi knows this. Honestly, I annoy probably my closest friends and family because
Oh, it
again,
is. Hello, Ace Bachelor. That really is Ace Bachelor
right.
dropped in there.
So what I'm
What's
getting
going
at
on,
is
Ace?
whenever somebody says anything, including me, especially me actually, does it apply to me too? So if I'm gonna say something like, well,
Oh, I never thought of it that way.
most of these partners you're looking at are not fresh, meaning they're of the
The
older
reference to
general.
fresh, right?
Right. They're the older generation, which means you want a younger generation. Now look in a mirror.
Nothing wrong with that.
Well, right. There's
I
nothing.
mean,
there's
hey, something happens to
nothing
George, I'm
wrong with
gonna
it.
get me a young buck.
There's
so-
nothing wrong with it. But remember, you're making
Get
a
live.
public statement. It's different if this is a statement made between friends, between family, but publicly, it's something you probably should not do. Again, nothing against anybody in particular.
I would
So what I'm
just
saying is,
say it with
if-
conviction, babe. He
if I
actually
want-
made reference to
right.
women not being
let's
fresh
say
in
I'm dating,
America.
okay? Let's say I'm
Same
dating.
with the guys.
Right.
It's same with the
and
selection.
and I'll say, you go on Tinder, and some people lie about their age. Actually,
a lot.
well, I would say 90%
Well,
lie about their
dating
age.
apps.
And when you meet them, actually, I got questioned a lot, like on my pictures, like, "Is that really you?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah." But anyway, point being, they lie a lot. And what I'm saying is, when you meet them up in person, you said, "Oh, sorry, I was looking for somebody who's younger," you know. And when they say that, you have to think, well,
Have you
you're
looked in
not
the
young
mirror?
yourself. Isn't that the default response?
Right. And I get that. It would go both ways. That's all.
That's the point.
Being he just mentioned that and I didn't think of that, I was just like, okay, because we get a lot of emails. We read his comments. We read comments about Paul and Baby May and other channels. I like Baby May. I watch Baby May's channel. I've been watching Paul's channel. Same here. Sometimes we agree to disagree. We watch Ace Bachelor. We watch Mike. There's not all things that we're going to like on all of these channels, but we know that we're watching them all, right? And in a case like that, some people would say Baby May's not super young. It's they kind of go. I think Baby May's in her 40s when
it's still a 20-year difference.
I know that. Don't get me wrong.
That's
what
a
I'm
lot.
saying,
What I'm saying is, if you're at legal age and your partner it doesn't even exist yet,
all I'm saying is people have made comments that she's not a
right?
spring
And again,
chicken,
it's not a
and-
dig on anybody in particular. It's not a dig on age gap. Again, we already talked about age gap
I'm
last
not
week.
young, but
Nothing-
neither
nothing
is
to do
Paul.
with
None
that.
of us is. So it became an age and not fresh situation. all
Right.
of a
It's
sudden,
just something
so it
you
was
probably
a-
should not say publicly if you're not that type of person too. It's kind of like, well, you
Yeah.
know, are you a vegan? And then you're a carnivore, you know what I mean? And you're like, huh? You know what I'm saying?
Next we will talk about, I'm going to jump around here. Let's talk about the regular guy. We don't have a clip on this, but I'm going to talk about the regular
Scotty,
guy today.
and
Scotty
not,
boy.
not Scott in the world as I see it. We're talking about Scotty boy.
Scotty boy. A lot of people watch him. He travels all over the place. I know that he goes from hotel to hotel to hotel, and I know a lot of them to me seem a little shady. I'm surprised he hasn't caught bed bugs yet. To be honest, he goes to some
She's
of
talking about the hotels are shady.
some of them, yeah. And then like the one recently there is the Red Door Hotel. There's hey Michael.
Hey, Michael Velasquez, how you doing?
And when he got there, okay, it's I believe it was we said it was Tacloban he arrived at, and it was his latest video. And
Tacloban.
yeah, and he booked for the wrong date. So I'm going to assume he arrived on the 28th of February. He gave that away by saying that he thought he had booked. He goes, well, when was that booked? And she's like, March 28th. He's like, dang that. He blamed Agoda on it. He was like, oh, that Agoda mixed up. But he does that online. So when she mentioned it was $30, he said that he'll go online and actually book it. So in my opinion, it didn't seem like he wanted to pay he knew that it'd be a couple dollars cheaper by going online, but he was blaming Agoda. So that seems to be his latest thing is he's traveling a bunch, booking cheap hotels. And I will warn you guys, be very careful on all that. You know, the same as anywhere traveling in the world, when you go to super cheap, some don't change the sheets properly. They don't do, there's a lot of shortcuts in hotels.
And percent.
Yeah. And the problem is you could be dealing with actual bugs. We will jump on to Geo in the Philippines. Is that his name? Geo in the Philippines? Geo himself has had a channel for a while, was mostly, in my opinion, was a lot about like giving information for guys coming here. He did a lot of live streams. He stopped for a long time, single bachelor, did a lot of dating. At one point, I heard him talk about him and the dates he had and all that. But he recently got married. Heard all kinds of things, great things about Geo. His latest thing is he just gave a full tour to his house. You seen the tour. I was kind of taken back. I didn't know that place was a 3-bedroom. He said it was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and I wasn't sure. I thought I might be mixing up the couples, but I didn't know if she had a kid or not. Maybe not. I could be wrong that his wife had a kid. But gave a full tour, including his coffee maker. Again, at one point when they got married, he was really proud about that coffee maker.
Okay, I'm not picking on anybody. No, but no, he's proud of it because he's showed
it several times
on his videos. Yes, and again, there's nothing wrong with that. He just loves that Keurig.
Yeah, so I've heard all kinds of things about Geo. Like, you know, we know there are like his previous wedding photos out there and a bunch of other videos on him and all that. And I said, not today, Jesus. I just didn't feel like going through all of that today. But Geo did a home tour. And let's get down to Tim K, everybody's favorite. You guys said I don't want to talk about the boy. Well, today I'm going to talk about the boy. It looks like his last video went out about 12 days ago. He went to Hawaii. There is something that I heard on the other channel. It would be Andy Omar. Shout out for Andy.
Hey, Andy.
Andy does a bunch of stuff that he puts out. It's like out there, guys. When Andy puts it out, he puts it out there. And he's not shy. He's one of the original vloggers that just keeps it real. Sometimes too real for people. I think the truth hurts on things, but he really puts it out there. I'll give that to him because if it wasn't for my moderator here and my PR man, would I not be all over half the stuff that I could actually get my hands on? True.
Yeah.
But there's still a level of we like these vloggers. Tim K, I don't know much about Tim K. The only thing we watched him during the typhoon. We've seen him on and off, and to me, in my personal opinion, I think him and the Chrissy thing. I think my feeling is he just puts her up there as a small village woman, like she's just. I don't know. I just get this odd vibe when I see Chrissy. It's almost like she's afraid. It's a weird he called her the village girl in his last video or the previous one. They went out to dinner or something and he goes, oh, small town village girl going out to dinner. They're walking around the streets at night. And I always just get this weird vibe. He puts her on the spot to say weird things or he coaxes her. Some people have said, and I'm just going to say some have said that she is being like coached by him. And it feels like she doesn't want to be in the videos, but she does have her own channel. We have a Tim K clip that we're going to put up here. You awake?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, when you want it up.
Yeah. How do you feel about Tim K there?
All right. So, okay. One, by default, I don't have an issue or problem with anybody. Okay. Now, the Tim K thing, the thing is, it's actually not about Tim K. It's about Chrissy. Again, I have nothing against Chrissy. She is, as Tim K labels, what's that word you said? She's a small village girl or something like that.
Yeah, he's always
No,
innocent
her
Chrissy, and he's always
behavior,
wanting to put her out as innocent. And
and it's something I'm kind of somewhat, I wouldn't say disappointed. It's more like kind of like, you don't forget your roots. And what I mean by that, she's not acting as okay. In yes, there's a weird vibe on that goes across the videos, that there's a like like I wouldn't say moment of hesitation, but something like that, where she's like, should I do this? Should I do that? Is this
I
what you
think
want me to
he's
do?
coaching her. I think she's afraid. I think it's
And
down to a pleasing thing, in
what
my
I'm saying
personal
is,
opinion.
she does not behave like what Heidi says, like a small village girl type. It's her behavior has been altered, and whether or not it's coaxed, it's still up to her
Hey,
if she wants
Carl.
to be in that format that her partner forces her to do so. I'm not saying he is, but there's that weird feeling that even I, as a Filipino, be like, you're not behaving naturally. It doesn't come out naturally.
Yeah. So
And
it's
again, it's not an attack on either. It's just
yeah. So we have where Tim K is. He made this announcement in the actual airport of Manila. He actually stated that he had to fly back to Hawaii because he's got a big brand deal. And I want you guys to leave a comment what you think this brand deal is. He wouldn't say what it is. I can only imagine. Hey, maybe it's the Kardashians are going to send him some of them new Spanx and underwears in. It'd kind of be like what's going on with the NBA. Maybe they're sending him some underwears to hold himself together. I don't know. But he's got a brand deal and he has to go to Hawaii to pick it up. Others would say he's on the run because of documents being filed in the courts and everything. And oh, snap. Say it, George. No, say it. Can I say it?
I didn't say nothing.
George said it's a shipment of Ozempic. And there you have it. So, right? What was it? What's her name said the other day? Only the rich can afford Ozempic, and it looks like our boy Tim K can afford it.
No,
Huh?
it's a running joke, because actually, like last time I got medications, there was a guy on the counter demanding a Ozempic. No, I'm not making this up.
Yeah.
And
Was he a chunky guy, or was he a chunky Filipino, or
that's the
was
thing.
he?
He wasn't.
So then he really needed the medicine, which really
No,
leaves it.
he didn't, because
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, Kelly Osbourne of the Osbourne family actually made a statement. Oh, those haters over the Ozempic, it's only because they can't afford it. Besides that, they would be using it. And I disagree. There's a lot of side effects and there's a lot of dangers to using it. But all right, so he's got a brand deal, and we have a clip of him in his own words. Observe his breakfast, okay, because that looks like a lot of food, even for me. I don't think that's what the airline fed him. I think he had a choice on a menu and he chose it. I also want you guys' opinion on that. It's a lot of food, but go ahead and put it up. I don't think George has seen this clip yet.
Leaders want to make videos about me. This is exactly where I'll be in my mind. I will be above the Pacific Ocean in my Polaris business class seat. Take me back here, please, with some strong coffee.
For the haters, he said. For the
then
trolls.
breakfast, which was pretty fantastic.
Look at that.
Juice,
So
coffee,
yogurt,
some sort of
cake,
deal,
rice,
omelet,
egg,
sausage. Not too impressive,
sausage,
but what I will say
fruit,
is the fruit was
and a
fantastic,
croissant.
and the
To
food
me, that
was
seems like a lot
extremely
of food, but
hot.
I could be wrong.
Yes, I did kind of burn my mouth on the omelet, and
He burned
it
his
was quite a
mouth
surprise,
on the
I'll say that much.
omelet. That is hilarious. So in his own words, he won't be thinking about like the haters and stuff. And actually, anytime somebody says that, it's exactly what he took the minute to record and say that. We know that he could have already returned back to the Philippines. He could still be sitting in Hawaii. I'm really curious to know what his actual brand deal is. I know at one point he was pushing the hormone stuff that he was using, and I don't know what that is, but it's just kind of crazy.
Right. Well, I mean, everybody's curious. Everybody wants to know, but he's really good at that kind
I
of
can't
stuff.
believe you wrote down Ozempic. You guys, I wish you guys could be a fly on the wall to really hear. Are you playing it again?
Well, it's on silent. I figured
Okay.
we're since we're talking about it.
Right. So you like to be a fly on the wall to hear what George really thinks. Because believe me, when the cameras are off, George has big opinions. When I met George, he was super quiet. He still is, but he's become more. I'm proud of him because he used to just, like some Asians, they keep everything inside and they don't do the opinionation. I say we jump. Which one? You choose the next one. Who do you want to bring in next? We've got the
That's a
Filipina
quick one.
P.
You always go with
Yeah,
the
let's go with
faster
the
one.
Filipina P. She's got a date night going on. There it is, guys. Date night for the Filipina P. There's been a lot of speculations about her trip to Florida and the United States and things that went on there. Okay, as I'm to understand from the Chismas tree, there was a man over there. There was even at some point speculations about. Can I go into the 1 second? Let me write this down to see if I can say it. That rumor? Allegedly, but we know it's not true.
You can state. Well, we don't know if it's true.
Well, it can't be, or she
But-
would have had by now.
Well, I wouldn't say
Anyways,
that.
let's just leave it out. For legality reasons, there were other speculations. Down to, let's just say they said that possibly she was married at this point. Because the paperwork she applied for and spoke on her own seemed to be paperwork where she could have been married.
It doesn't make sense on a lot of things, and again, it's not a dig at her either. She is welcome.
Oh, snap, Scott.
She's welcome to have her own life and everything. Actually,
But-
now Scott Underworld, as I see it, that's his theory.
Right, but she'd be bigger by now.
Well, the point being is, well, Scott said that. Now, what I'm saying is the reason why Scott said that it is fact.
And
not,
this is
not
a recent.
fact, but it's,
This is a recent photo,
it's
guys.
a speculation again. One, that she is with a man in the U.S. and that's
She
fine.
spent a lot of time.
That's
over
up
there.
to her.
No,
And then
yes.
two, she keeps it out of the limelight, which is fine because she
Yep.
has her own brand. She's the Filipina
Right.
P. And technically,
Jeff W said he got married.
yeah, and technically it's
Actually, the rumor is Ace Bachelor Cool married the Filipina P a couple days ago. You heard it first. Dun 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 dun.
She's
Fan
joking,
Network.
obviously.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
No, she is. No, baby, you
I'm
can't.
joking.
Yeah, no. He says, yeah, me and Filipina. No, again, like I
Well,
said,
when he said that, that's why I said
the real reason why, again, she's keeping this out of the limelight because of her brand, and again, her brand is
bringing in a lot of bucks. That's what that brand is doing.
Correct. It's
as far as she appears
if
single.
she's single, then let's face it, it doesn't matter who it is, whether it's
Lord.
the P or E girls as they call them, or gamer girls as you would call them.
Hey.
Gamer girls would get more money and more donations if they're single.
Yes.
So it's no different with vloggers. If a vlogger is somewhat attractive to the other,
let me say my prayer. Lord, when I come back in the next live, I want to be a mixture of the Filipina P and I want to be like Calvin and Sunshine Shoulders. And I want to be Chrissy K kind of wrapped up in one, maybe a little Howard Stern on the side, and MYK.
God dang. Will Smith says, "Oh yeah, oh dang, Dickie, that's a little hate there." Scott says it's she's Smart Thornton's side chick. That's funny.
Well, here's the thing: is that I mean,
that's funny. I love it. That's hilarious, Scott.
Yeah.
Will Smith says she's definitely living long and prospering.
Right?
Rick Merriman says P's looking for subscribers. Oh, hey, Sab sucks. Hello.
Hello, subs.
Yes, I agree. P needs
Good
some more
morning, Big
meat on her.
Banana.
Well, actually, she used to. She's actually more on the. I mean, again, there's nothing wrong. I think she's someone in a healthy weight right now. If that makes any sense, she's really not skinny as she used to be anymore. And I think
It's
it's
with
about
age.
right.
It's always
think it's
like
about right.
George. Once you get to a certain age, there's just. I think she's
Oh,
healthy.
dang! Rick Merriman says he needs to go to the gym to get some curves.
Let's do this. I say we save Mark for last because we're going to then put the link in for people to come up so people can say their piece about all this today. If you guys got some gossip on me, let me know because allegedly there's all kinds of gossip out there. I'd like to actually hear that.
Jeff, you're funny.
And so that'd be pretty funny.
Mark.
Let's go on to this right here. Do you have? We'll do this and then we're going to this. Rafina's journey. Let me refresh your memory about Rafina.
Who's that?
Rafina was the vlogger that came through and said that Scuba Chef, which is tied in with Geo, one of Geo's old friends, they all lived over there in the same compound and all that, that they broke up, something happened, but he went back to the US when that all happened. A bunch of stuff came up on that. So bottom word on this one is she turned around and put like a video of his whole business out there, said that he had touched her daughter inappropriately. The sister said it.
Serious allegations.
Serious allegations, okay? And then all of a sudden, after these serious allegations, all this money come pouring in. Like she did like one video after the other. She did a bunch of live streams for our regulars. You would know we were covering that because it was something that needed to be covered because she was really putting some shade on him. Then she was saying that he was doing it to her, but nothing ever came from it. And I was looking at another one of our viewers' comments, and I went and looked at his channel. He's a channel, and I see that he's a subscriber to Rafina. And I was like, wonder whatever happened to Rafina. And this is what happened to her. She deleted almost all of her account. This is it. This is a blank account. She used to have about 10, 15 live streams up where she was showing off her house all the time, her daughter. She went through this entire thing. And I was like, this can't be the right account, right? Maybe she, because I know she changed her name. It used to be their account. There was a time when it was, and it used to be her footage with him going places. All of that footage is gone. And it's just his video of where she's still accusing him, guys. So kind of crazy. It's a there's your dear. I'd say put her up. There you go. Right? Mike said, "Don't be cheap."
Thank you very much, Tess.
Next time it'll cost you to put an insult on Mike, but I'm willing to sell Mike out for $2. Thank you, Mike. Mike, are you matching that?
Oh, don't start.
Mom needs Mom needs to wrap the e-trike. We need to put a wrap on the e-trike.
Yeah.
So Rafina, I don't know what's up, but there's your newest and latest on Rafina. I think it's interesting. So we will jump right into and bring people in on Mark Thornton.
Well, actually, I thought we were going to talk about MYK Mike. So,
I already talked about Mike.
MYK Mike.
You missed that in the beginning.
Now, the thing with MYK Mike is whenever
caught me on the counter, it was me. I was sucking on his. It wasn't me. It was him. It wasn't me. In the shower. It was me.
All right, Shaggy folks. Welcome, Shaggy. Shaggy's live today.
We already talked about MYK, but basically we were talking about the in the beginning, we talked about the Swede guy, the Filipino, her in the chair, all of that. And in the beginning, I was like, if Mike missed it, I was like, at first I was like, oh, come on, Mike. And then I was like, oh, hell no. Yep. She's
well, there's more. There's more to it.
You have to watch the entire video. That's why we always say, and Mike says, and others, watch the entire thing, because a lot of people will come cutting in or just look at thumbnails and like, oh, you guys were just clickbaiting, and Mike was just clickbaiting, and old dog was clickbaiting. Not really, guys. If you'd watch the whole thing and listen to the entire stories, you would get it all. So who's that? Who's game?
Huh?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
We don't always
I was
know
reading that one,
everybody's.
and if there's something wrong with that one, I was
Yeah,
just
you could
reading
put.
that one.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. Well, let us go through, and we'll go through the comments. Let people in. Do you want to go through comments and cover Mark? How do you want to do this?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, I'm asking. What's up?
We can go through with it and then go back.
Okay, so so a little scenario on Mark Thornton. He's been in the limelight here lately. So all
Oh,
eyes are on him right now.
yeah, and guys and girls again, just
Guys
to
and
clarify. Okay,
girls.
first off, none of the thumbnails are real. Okay, they're all AI generated.
Well,
they may
most of them, but yes, the ones of the
they
people.
may resemble these people, but it's actually not them. It's same thing with the baby. That's not a real baby. That's an AI generated baby. But point being,
You guys gonna
most of these are just AI
AI
generated.
generated
Now, for
by
instance,
commands.
the thumbnail today. Okay, that's completely AI generated. We didn't. What was the line that you used to generate that thumbnail? No, tell them.
Oh yeah, I told them about the expat holding. Well, I'm gonna give it away if I say what it is. So,
Well, point being, it wasn't.
oh, I'm gonna say if it's him, it's him, it's him. That's what I'm talking about. But it's
Well,
not really his photo.
that's the thing. It's not really.
It's for
The command is very generic. It's nothing to do with anybody in particular. Point being, it's just by chance that is something AI generated that somewhat resembles a vlogger. And again, nothing against him or anything. It was completely random. Because if I told you the command line, you're like, that's it? Really?
well, the one that we have up now.
Right.
To me,
that's what I'm
it
saying.
looks a lot. Who do you guys think our thumbnail looks like?
That's what I'm saying.
Comment on it, because
the command line has nothing to do with anybody. It's a very generic command line.
Okay, so I
Prompt.
believe, and it's very well possible. Me and George talked about this. The AI software, we have several of them that we use. I'm thinking because we have photos saved of certain expats because of the topics we cover. I think they're literally going through our drive.
There's nothing of him in the drive, babe.
I do have some.
Well, either
Yes.
way, I don't think that's how it
And the
works.
ones, because I've looked them up on the internet too. So all I'm saying is weird, because I can tell you who our thumbnail looks like. You was like, and I was like, no, why would I? That was
Yeah.
AI generated. But to me, it looks like one of the expats that we watch.
Yeah, and again,
one of their channels, a big channel.
It wasn't really. It was
It's
just random.
random. So don't mess around. So let's bring up what's going on with Mark. So Mark looks to have sent 10 to 12 Billick buy-in boxes to himself. Okay. And by the way, he left his address wide open on that. We blanked it out.
Blanked it out.
So he has currently left his address. I guess he's looking for Christmas cards, to be honest. I don't know. That's not the footage.
Oh.
There, baby, got the wrong one.
Well, there's those.
No, there was a video. So you grabbed the wrong footage.
Well, there's what video?
Okay, I'll have to grab it. So go. That's not the footage.
Oh, when he's talking?
I did an entire.
I didn't see it.
Okay, so then I'll have to grab it. Thank you very much. I thought you did, and it's in there because that's the last thing I did. It was very last minute, so you have the wrong video.
Well, it's right here. Oh, it's this one? Is that it? That's it?
Yes, that's it. Let's bring that up. So it's already generated. So yeah. So he sent, like I said, the boxes to himself, and we will explain the Billick buy-in box privilege. Others will actually say that it was sent to his wife, but here's the thing: when you send the boxes, they should be in your spouse's name, should be directed at your spouse. It's just taking a little bit.
Why does that keep showing?
Is that actually?
I don't know. Was that in the video? Is that what it is?
It's possible, yeah. But is that the latest? Did
I-
you go to the latest document? You keep going down here. Have you checked?
Babe, this is the computer.
It's the same
This
one. It's the
is
same
the
number.
cloud. I have to go to. There is no baby.
Okay, so then I'll
So
go
I
ahead and
guess
look.
that is it. That is it. That's I guess because I downloaded it twice.
Well, yeah, it shows that would be. Yeah, that's it. It's got the classical music. Yeah. What?
Nothing.
It's it. Okay.
Careful with that one, don't drop it.
So here comes your little tidbit of Mark's new career, his new hobby,
Cover my new novel.
his novel. His new novel called Creepers, guys. I want to let you know that not only did he expose his own address through YouTube, and then he showed that he shipped 10 to 12 boxes. It looks to be at least 10 of them. He said how much he spent, and the packages have his name on it. Biligbayan privilege means that a Filipino can receive X amount of boxes every year, but it looks like he shipped his own boxes to himself. The only thing about that is the Biligbayan. I just wanted to show you guys the Biligbayan box privilege says you're allowed X amount of boxes. Well, not X amount of boxes. You're allowed 3 shipments a year if you're Filipino. It can be sent to a Filipino, and the last rule is those cannot exceed 150,000 pesos. 150,000 pesos a year, not per shipment. Not, I think it's actually, besides that, you would actually hit where you would owe more taxes and all that. So he also, once again, has put that on air that he received all these shipments, whether it's personal stuff or not. The value basically, in my opinion, he avoided a shipper this way by doing this. And we could say, hey, okay, it was sent for Jen, that's fine. But when he puts his own name on there and he has them shipped to himself, and the thing he proceeded to tell people in his video, you can take that down, babe. The thing he proceeded to tell people is he was telling expats to ship their stuff this way because it's cheaper and it doesn't matter on the weight. It is not an open thing for expats that are moving to send 10. We've heard as many as 100 boxes being sent by expats, and you have to be careful on that matter. George is allowed to receive. You can ship them that way, but you have to watch the actual value of the items being sent. Secondly, he actually came through and said he's writing a novel. So I don't know if you guys all missed that, but he's writing a novel called Creepers. That was what was really not a book, but novel. That's a really big book, isn't it?
Well,
Or is it just another name?
no, I mean novel. No, I mean there are some shorter novels and there's some longer novels. I don't know how long this novel is, but
Right.
anybody. I mean, I'm not being again. I'm not against anybody writing a book.
Well, he's a jack of all trades, babe. I
And
mean,
no, again, there's nothing wrong with it. His articulation, I think it's not as good as I'm not downing anybody nor him. But what I'm saying is writers and anybody of that type have a more articulate and more their vocabulary is not of norm. If that makes any
right.
sense.
So we would have to see what type of writer. So he says he's writing a novel, but people have heard him say he's taking on other careers and he's doing this.
Is that Edward?
What? Oh, Kiki. That's probably the real Kiki. Yes.
Yeah, Eduardo. Yeah, Kiki. Good morning, guys. Hey, Kiki, how you doing? Here's the coin you gave us.
Yep, we still keep it nearby.
Yeah.
George is going to go through the comments. I'm going to add a link if you guys want to come in and say hey and tell us what you thought of today's what is going on. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you so much, Scott.
Thank you,
Appreciate you.
Scott.
Yeah, check out Scott in the World as I see it. He's got mostly a boat channel. But
He's been doing funny shorts here
Yeah.
lately.
no, my thing is glitching. It's not scrolling. All right, there. All right.
Do you remember where you're at?
Yeah, we were at the top. We really didn't go through comments. Hold on. And some of you guys have made actual, again, legitimate comments, and thank you for that. Appreciate you all. Let's see where we're at. Scuba Dooba Doo. It's all about doing get it today. It's great. It's my 1 year anniversary. No. I'm just going back. And then there. Are you sure he did not pick up something in the PI?
Yeah, you went over that.
No, not that one. No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did. You went over, and then we were both like, "Pick up what?"
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, Music to Motion. Howdy, friends.
What is going on? We said hello to Ruby. What's up?
Jim Wright says, is that Elton John next to you?
Yes.
Sarah Tyson says China propaganda just playing in.
Right.
Misangano says she probably doesn't have to scream too loud. There's a video. Oh, I think he's talking about the Australian video.
Are you okay?
What do you mean?
Just ask.
What do you mean? What's wrong with that? I think that's what he's talking about.
No, babe. You're. Never mind.
Spirulent Edwards says hello from Iloilo. Misangano says the by default there's a noise canceling.
I probably would.
And he says it's kind of doing its job. Yeah. Hey, Bruce Davis. Good morning. How you guys doing?
That far up, I would just probably go through the basics. I mean, if it's
Well,
pertaining or
actually, Brent's
regular.
Road says that there's been a lot of movement in the air, even in Badok, different
Yeah.
area.
Well, I'm just letting you know why. We usually don't, so I get that. But there is an actual air show today of both Navy or both Air Forces are here. That would make sense. What's going on?
Yeah, some of you guys again can hear them, and some of you can't.
Yeah, it seemed to stop right now, but they're probably only going to do so many.
That's
a lot of fuel.
I like that one. Tad says it's the sound of freedom. I like that one. Bruce Davis says $4,000 is a lot. No, it is. I mean, nobody really can afford losing $4,000. I mean, really, that's like a used car. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you can purchase a used car, it's a lot of money. Well, actually, nowadays I don't know how much cars go. I believe they've doubled in price now, even used ones. But no, back then in my time, 4,000 is the average price of a used car. Oh, dang, CBGB. CBGB says P now has more shoes than Imelda.
Aw.
Yeah. He's talking about Imelda Marcos again. Nothing against her or anything. It's not political either. Imelda Marcos had the biggest. Actually, I was there. I've been in their house before. She does have a very large selection of shoes, and in fact, it's kind of mind blowing. She had shoes. I believe they were. I think it was $1,000, but that was in the '80s. So that's like insane. That's like what, probably $3,000 now. And all it is, those shoes that she had that were worth $1,000 during that time, it's they had LED lights. They're glass shoes. Well, they look like glass. They're like, clear. So it's clear plastic or hard plastic. And the heels had an LED light on them. So and when she moves, they blink. Yeah, the children's shoes, I'm talking about now. Like children walk around with these shoes that blink each time they walk.
Right.
Back then in the '80s, those things didn't exist, but she had them. She had dancing shoes, and they were $1,000 in the '80s. So yes, Imelda Marcos does have a good amount of shoes. It's not a myth, and it's a fact. Yeah. Um, Carlos Gonzalez says, "Love you, freaks." Constantine 2 is coming up. Carlos says, "Single, disabled veteran, vet, Viagra drive." I think.
Guys, I just want to put out there again that we've left a link for you guys to come in and join this live stream.
Oh, okay.
Anything?
Guys, Will Smith says that. Yeah. Actually, it's not directed to us, but point being, if you type a really long comment, there's a good chance that it won't
Or you
make it.
put a link in there,
It'll
yes.
get disabled, and it's not us because it's YouTube. They automatically X-nay that. Yeah.
Or any foul words. If they show up on other channels, they've totally opened up the account. But even by our fault, we can't actually. I see where there were some held today, but
Yeah.
it's the words that were actually said, but they're short ones.
Now, Jimmy Poe says to me, "That's not a lot of money, but if you cannot, if you cannot afford it, why give money in that month?" Right.
Well, the problem is I don't blame them. We see, all right. In my personal opinion, it's a vulgar amount. It doesn't matter if it's only 4,000 to an expat or only what George says is what a laptop costs. My deal is the girl doesn't make, it's a good possibility that's all she makes for the entire year. Somebody sent a that kind of money, plus he has given her close to 500,000 pesos in a short period of time. So they make on average 10 to 15,000 pesos, okay, a month, and somebody sent her 200,000, okay? And so I would be upset and want to know, like, what's up with that? Why did you take a payment? Especially being he had already told her she was pregnant. Who else did she tell, possibly allegedly she was pregnant? That's a good
right.
possibility.
That's why I said. I mean, it's not depending on your relationship, but I think his relationship with her is not a I'm with you 24/7 relationship. It's like a semi LDR relationship. Like he's there, he leaves, he comes back, that kind of stuff. And
Well, he did make a comment about her being pregnant.
right. And again,
Oh,
is it a
no, I'm showing you that right there. See where the post is turning in.
Holy crap. That's all right. You have two. It's not going to affect it. You have these two posts that are solid.
Okay, but is that broken at the top?
Yes, that's worthless now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Well,
No, I mean it still has it's supporting structure. There's still a bit of weld to it.
yeah.
But anyway,
George further down. Yeah, we were talking about her. I just want to say real
all right,
quick.
right.
Further.
Okay, so the pregnancy, is it a wick move to ask for a paternity test?
Oh man, we didn't cover.
Well, first off, again, the relationship isn't stable. Second, the relationship is so bad that they had to take it to Rafi Tulfo. At that point, honestly, that wick move is somewhat it's you're already like basically threw a wrench in the works. You already practically destroyed the engine. You might as well go with it. It's different if say they have a stable relationship, they're fine, they're living together, and then she says, "Oh, I want a paternity test." But no, this relationship is pretty much gone. It's pretty much destroyed. At that point, is it a wick move? At that point, no, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? They already crushed their relationship. So do I believe in a paternity test? And again, I'm very fair, but at this point, yes, I think a paternity test is needed because first off, the vibe I got from the woman, again, I'm not condemning her, is it's not 100%. There's something wrong somewhere, and I'm not gonna make judgments against her, but usually the way she talks, the way she acts, the way she presents things, it's one-sided. You know what I'm saying? If that makes any sense. So yeah, and although I do agree with you guys, if the guy threw away 4,000. If he threw away $4,000, technically that's on him. And even in the US, if you have a baby mama and you're paying her child support, the probability of her saving those receipts and using that money for the baby, let's be realistic.
Yeah.
It doesn't usually work that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rick Merriman says, great channel. I was stationed in the Philippines in the 1980s with the Navy. The culture hasn't changed that much. The money, that is, i.e., that is, money is number one. Correct.
Good question. Rob Morrison, real quick at the bottom, says, "What's up with Overstay Road? His wife 1, 2, and 3." I think that's a big persona. Although
Oh,
others and other vloggers have mentioned Overstay Road, he really is a player. I can't confirm either way. It is about the YouTube channel, and it's. I mean, we could probably confirm that Ace Bachelor really is who he is, but I mean, maybe
okay.
it could be the
Well,
same girlfriend walking
for
around. I don't
example,
know.
when we met Overstay Road in person, he behaves and acts like what he shows on YouTube. Now, that still doesn't tell us that if that's really him or not, or it's an act.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
smoking a cigar, just being himself, like you would
But
see in
my take in that is, if you have something that what's the word?
you gotta live that persona. It's the one he puts on in his show,
Right.
and
It's a big persona. Those are big shoes to fill. And
yeah,
okay, is he a badass? Is he a vet? Has he done a lot of insane things and survived? Yes, we're not
yeah,
denying that.
yeah. He wrote a book and
However, is
everything.
in real life? Honestly, I've met a lot of real badasses in real life, real vets, real,
I mean,
and honestly, they're the softest, kindest people
I
I
think he
know.
seems nice, but I disagree on some of the stuff I see him doing, but I would think that his wife would leave if it was really that bad, or maybe she won't. I don't know, but I know. Do you guys remember that Thanksgiving where he actually brought in the mother of his other kid and brought them all in there?
Oh, that one, yeah.
Yeah, what was it? What was it that he did? He had her sit at the head of the table, or
It was very odd.
it was very odd, and I think they were like hanging out together and everything, but some of the things that were said during that and her being there was, and there's nothing wrong with the mother of all your children being there. It was the way that it was put on.
It's
And
okay, but that's okay.
I think he does that.
Babe, this Easter, I'm gonna have somebody come over. Okay,
Yeah, okay.
she's just a friend.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have a few of my friends over. And remember, I'm in the Philippines.
Yeah,
Lots of
they're
young
cheap.
bucks
Yeah, you
here.
can buy them from
And
Lazada.
yeah, probably 5 or 6 of them, probably for pretty cheap. So just remember that. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Stick it up your gander.
CBGB says that Tim Newton wrecked his PC during his stream, so expect some more viewers incoming. Oh, hey Ryan Day, I haven't seen you in a while. Ryan Day in the
Tim Newton.
house.
Are they talking
Um,
about
um,
10K?
probably just popping in to give thumbs up. Thank you so much, Ryan. How you doing, man?
Hey,
Dudes,
hey.
use the head over your shoulders, not the one down,
Down
south.
south.
Right,
Yeah, he
right,
was
right.
talking
You need
about
to
that
control
woman.
your own money. Right. Again,
And control the temper, because I get it. Nobody should hit anybody. A guy shouldn't hit a woman. Woman shouldn't hit a guy. If it gets that bad, you really should probably break up, and they probably should just stay separated. I get that people love each other and all that, but you still have to keep a level head on hitting somebody, and that's where we come back to the Mark Thornton thing. He still has that video up, and he continues to release videos that, and I just I said I wouldn't talk a lot about the Billy Buying thing. That's why we put it on today, because he was advising in his video that it's okay for expats to be sending them. And that's not the rule. It's just not the actual
well,
rule.
you
And
can't
once
send them to
again,
yourself, technically.
yeah, it doesn't matter if you have a girlfriend or not. You're allowed to receive them. He can receive them as a Filipino. You can send them. And, we receive some every year. Don't get us wrong on that. But when you blatantly tell expats it's the best way to ship your stuff to the Philippines all the time, as that channel has advised, it's just bad advice.
Oh,
And those boxes, he's going to reveal a box a day if the value is over 2,700 US at any point. Okay. And then there's another person watching, or a troll or a hater that drops a dime on him, he could end up with a bunch of taxes, and they could actually ask to see all the receipts, because there is shipment receipts and you are to list every single thing on there. If he can't show that, they could just start guessing a tax and lay that on him.
yeah. If you don't put
A
an
list.
itemized list, they have the right to seize the
Mhm.
box.
Which
Do
at
they
this,
usually know? But can they? Yes.
yeah, so he actually revealed that it's okay. And we know that there are people that have done it, and they didn't have a spouse, so they're just shipping their items this way, and you're avoiding taxes this way. That's what actually is going on, because you're only allowed to bring in X amount of stuff. So you're just, I get it, and we get the shortcuts, like people saying don't give social security your address, and don't do this, and don't, a lot of these things can cause serious issues in the future.
Right.
So
And speaking of like buying boxes, actually, just so you guys know, there's something, a Philippine culture that a lot of people don't talk about. I'm saying this because if you guys or girls are with a Filipino or Filipina, okay, and they're gonna send a blik buying box, for example, it is normal in our culture that friends and family will come to you and say, "Hey, I have this." They usually give you a shoebox size. That's the acceptable size. A shoebox size box that says, "Can you fit this in your box?" Be aware that is normal in our culture. It's called padala, which means to ship. And so, if again, let's say you were preparing a box and Filipinos show up at your doorstep, there's friends or family, and they have a box that says, can you fit this in your box? That's normal. Okay. The same way it's normal that when a Filipino or Filipina travels back to the Philippines, aka Balikbayan, that again friends and family will come to your house and say, "Hey, you're I know you're going to you're going back to the Philippines. Can you take this with you and give it to them?" This is normal in our culture. Okay, it's a culture thing. There's nothing wrong with it. Again, Filipinos are very giving and very accepting. So if you're with a Filipino or Filipina and this happens to you, it's not weird. It's not asking too much. It's just the culture. Just so you guys know. Um,
yeah, I covered that up for Sarah. Yeah, she did.
Brent's World says, "Hey folks, hit the like button. Thanks so much, Brent's World. Appreciate it so much.
Thank you, Brent Swirl.
Good day, good morning, Heidi, Georgia, and everyone."
Hi, Victoria. What is
Rick
up?
Merriman says there appears to be some really lonely guys in the Philippines, some who haven't dated in the West in a very long time. Yes, they have
Yeah,
cobwebs.
we're just saying that the pendulum swings both ways. I mean, I could actually say, hey, the selection at Walgreen is getting really, really, what do you call it? It's not fresh, it's dry. The selection at Walgreens is dry.
Walgreens.
But that was pretty specific of Paul and the dating, but he just went from one point to the next one. But I mean, congratulations all day long about, being able to marry baby May. And because I was looking at his videos yesterday and went to his oldest video. Actually, I have a screenshot of Paul from one of his original live streams. It doesn't even look like the same person. I know he's lost a lot of weight and his life has changed. I don't,
Yeah.
but in the apartment he was actually in, he's really come, quite a ways with the channel and everything. So, but we just wanted to do an update of his latest video.
Will Smith says George always brings the receipts, like literally. There you go. Cindy G says Heidi's so right. 20 questions to get to the real answer here.
No, it can be. You got to be very specific. And I learned that in the beginning. If I don't ask George a question and I'm just talking, if I don't say it in a question form, he won't say nothing the whole conversation. I get being listening and everything else, but you have to ask George questions or he won't answer or talk.
Rick Merriman, lots of beta males. Cindy says that's a crazy amount of money here to spend in 2 months.
She had all of it sent. So that means he said it was somewhere between 300 and 500. We thought, like Mike did, she said 500 is what he sent her.
Well,
And then she received 2 from the guy in a short period. It seems like a lot of money. to me.
receipt or not, correct. At that price point, if she has nothing to show for, then there's something wrong. I mean, let's say it's for the baby, okay? And then she could have shown, oh, here's the
Yeah, George said that.
stroller, here's the crib.
She didn't
here's
say that either. She was quiet the whole time. I
Correct.
get Filipinos are quiet, but she screamed about other things,
Yeah.
but never once did she say, "Well, I've already
I
bought
had
a
the room
crib and-
repainted.
right,
you
got an
know,
air conditioner, got a a
playpen.
humidifier in
Here's
case
the
the baby's
toys.
sick,
Yeah.
got an air purifier.
At that price point,
But she could have got all of that and put a down payment on it on one of those houses.
right.
at
So
that amount.
so technically, again, first off, again, it's hard to get receipts here. I'm sorry. I don't. It's just not that easy. But that's still a form of receipts. Something to show for is still form of receipts. It's kind of like you give somebody $4,000 and then they're like, "Oh, well, thank you so much for the 4,000. Here's the car." They're not going to show you the receipt, but they're showing you the actual car. It's still a form of a receipt. You know what I'm saying? It's probably it's MYK Mike. I figured it would be my MYK. Hey, Mike, how you doing, man?
What's up?
Hey, are you done visiting other rooms and getting around there, Mike?
I've been around.
Getting around.
I've been
I get
around.
around.
Yeah.
I got around. Today was cleaning day, so
What's going on, Mike?
nothing much, man. Just want to say what's up.
Yeah, we were just talking about our friend not providing her receipts and sitting there talking about with all that money, talking about the Rafi Tufo, Mr. Swede
Oh.
and Mrs. Swede.
Got it.
And we gave a shout out to you saying in the beginning, so let's start talking gossip about Mike. And
Yeah,
then we went
talk
into
gossip.
saying how we know you and you're a good guy and all that. And we were talking about this latest fiasco. Well, not the one you did today, but the video. And we were going through things. And the same as if people don't watch the whole video in the beginning, it seemed like she was a real angel and stuff. And I was like, maybe Mike's being a little. And then my eyes just popped open. I was like, dang, he's so right. Once again, Mike is right about it, and I'm sitting there listening, and Mike's listening, George is listening, and like George and me were just saying, that's a lot of money. Let's just say it was 300 and something thousand plus the money she had received or any of that money. She didn't even try to say, hey, I bought a crib, I bought a
Yeah.
humidifier and equipment and clothes. She was like silent on where that money went now. But maybe Rafi should ask her, hey, what? Or that woman should have said, hey, where'd all that money go? Maybe she would have answered at that point.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
what like in the beginning, I was like, oh man, this guy is like nuts because he was like shaking. It's like he was like straight up like what's the word in English? Like gigil, right? That's
Yeah.
Tagalog for it. Like he was just like really irritated, and I was like, yo, something's wrong with this dude, right? Because he started spitting. Once he spat that first time, I literally stopped. I was like, oh, this is gonna be a blind react, right?
Right.
And so I switched on her the moment she stated that he was holding her down to go upstairs when they were in the boat.
Right.
And I remembered the video, and I was just like, wait, no, he wasn't, because he was in his phone. He was just twiddling his thumb. So
Right.
by her saying that, I was like, she's lying automatically. Because here's this girl like, I need to go upstairs, this and that. And I was like, you know what? Even I would want to slap you right now if a girl tries to do that to me.
I mean, did he just find out at that moment when that happened? Or was that just an incident she's claiming happened separately on the moment he found out? You think he had just found out during that recording about the money, or he was just agitated that day on the boat?
Oh no, I guess he already kind of knew a little bit about it.
Okay, so that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, it was just that, and like I know, like, look, they got into, he touched her. So wrong. Like, as a man, you should hold back.
Yeah.
As a man, you should hold back. But the thing though is, there are things that women deserve to be slapped for.
Oh, well, that's what I said. Yeah, I mean, you put
So-
yourself in a man's
Yeah.
shoes and
So, but it's
hassle,
still
you're going to get that confrontation.
yeah, but it's up to the guy to hold him back. But it's not always where a man can do that, especially when you're being nagged. And I'm
Right.
sorry to say, she was nagging him, but she was doing one of those undercarriage, passive aggressive, I need to go. And she's videotaping him. It wasn't like she has the video camera in front of him, I need to go. She's like literally doing the selfie, I need to go. Right. So,
Right.
you know, maybe he finally just got irritated. But the thing though is he should have held back. And, you know, especially if you're in a country that's not your own,
Do you
you
think
know,
that was just her being toxic, Mike, and she was going to use that against him for more money at that point? Maybe she knew he would do that, and she was counting on his anger at that point?
I see, I don't want to say that that's her mindset, right? But from looking in, I was like, why? There's only reason why you're videotaping because you know he's about to get agitated.
Right,
So
that's what I was saying. Okay.
maybe she's using it so she has evidence for herself. Okay, I'll
Yeah.
give her that. But at the very same time, is when you start towards the end, you're just like, oh, you know what? She was just asking for the payday.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
And
was
why
that
do
was
you think that she didn't have any ID, Mike? Why do you think she didn't provide the ID? You think she's married? You think she isn't who she is? Maybe her age is different?
You know, I didn't try to bring it up during the video when I was doing it. I did kind of mention it when I was, you know, in the live chat. Number one, there's several things. One, she could be married, right? And so that puts an evidence right there. But then the question is, if she didn't want to get that, but then she does it on a tulfo,
Right.
why is that? You know, so it kind of, there's things that could have changed. So honestly, for me, there's two things I'm thinking. She's underage at that time. That's one. And the second one is, or she's married. It's either or, right? But then, you know, you look at her face, she doesn't look 18, under 18 anyways.
Right.
You know,
Yeah. She looks
you know, and,
older. Yeah.
and that's the thing. And then once again, you just see another reject Filipina.
Yeah.
Right.
And I
Like,
was like,
she's a-
Mike's just being so harsh on her. And oh, snap. You know, you have to take in the whole thing there, Mike.
I'm sorry to say, but my list of potential red flags is always on point. I'm sorry, like people get mad at my red flag list, but it always wins. My red flag bingo, my red flag list, the 12 pieces always is on point. Nobody can ever say that I messed up on my red flag.
Right.
I hate to
Low
say it.
hanging fruit.
I hate to say it, and, you know, and people get mad about it. And I get it. That's just because and most people that are mad is because you see your woman in that list.
Right. They see, or there's some sort of truth within their story, you know, or their own, what they see in themselves. Yeah.
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 And-
That was
and
just,
George knows. If you look at that woman, it's like, first of all, she was hiding the rest of half of her face in the mask, right?
yeah.
But when you finally saw the photos, you're like, oh, I know what she's hiding. She's hiding literally 3/4 of her face because she's got that, you know, she's got that really long, we call it in the Philippines, babalu type of chin, like really, this Filipino actor had was known for his chin, and she's had that babalu chin, you know, hiding, and then eventually it showed up. I mean, that thing would look like she was like the moon from the 1990s commercials of you know, McDonald's.
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah.
it's like, you know, it just sucks for it, you know. Let them be. But
Yeah. It was,
But
yeah. I
but
was
here's the
thinking about
thing:
the mask.
close to $500,000
Snap.
wasted on that.
Right.
On that.
Right.
Like,
you
if
know what? You know what
My
George
God.
said? He said a lot of people will say things, you know, about like our relationship, and I was sitting there thinking about what you said about the Philippine. I was like, yeah, and she probably can't even cook, and she probably doesn't do this or do that, because a lot of people think that's an automatic, and it's not. And it's like, when I heard you talk about wasting money and stuff, I was like, yeah, but can she cook?
Yeah, that girl can cook because, you know, she had to cook for herself. She had to cook for herself. I mean, you know, somebody in that line of level and stuff like that, they cook. I'm not saying they're the best cook, but they cook because they have to cook their own food. You know, so, you know, but for people, for a lot of guys, are not used to having a woman cook for them because for some reason it doesn't exist much in the US as much, but of course it does with the right woman. But for a lot of guys, because they maybe didn't experience that when they go to the Philippines, like, oh my God, she cooks for me. This is this is a true woman. I'm like, no, that's the basic of the basic. Like
Right.
if they can truly cook, that's fine. But that's just the basics of everything, you know. But it's just hilarious to me.
No, there's a lot of issues with that one. I mean, technically, I can't even start.
Yeah, where do you start on that, George?
No, I can't. I
You
mean, like I
can't.
said. But here's the problem. I know you can persecute the woman, honestly. I mean, I'm talking to you, the audience. Me and Mike can persecute the woman all we want, but in the end, he was responsible for him throwing that money
Mhm.
away.
Yeah. Of
Yeah, he
course.
did give it to her for sure. Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, sure. Did she spend it? Probably not on the baby. Yeah. But in the end, he's the one like who just blindly just start throwing money at something, you know. Doesn't matter whether it's this relationship or anything. Anybody who throws money at something, whether
Mhm.
it's a problem or anything, there's something wrong with that person because money doesn't fix everything.
Yeah, it's
Especially, didn't he say, Mike, that he wants to get back with her?
Yeah,
no, he
that's
said that he's still in love with her.
in love. Yeah,
Okay, that's what he never really said he wants to get back with her. She obviously doesn't want to get back with him, but she did say you better pay up for what you need to pay up. And that's the thing where it's just funny to me is like here she is complaining to Rafi Tulfo that he's not living up to his responsibility. But just as of January and February, he sent her over 350,000 pesos. So what is she talking about that he's not doing that? So but she said I had to push for it. Well, because he has his doubts because somebody gave you $4,000. Because no one gives $4,000 unless they want something. And for her
Correct.
to play the game that it's just a friend, I don't have to give up anything. This just makes me laugh. It's like women saying that guys need to pay for dinner, but then at the same time is when that's because that's what the right thing to do is. But then at the same time is they won't give it up. I'm sorry to say, you have expectations to us men. Men have expectations to you women,
well, yes.
right? And so it's like and in like what they say in the U.S. This is a known fact. Foodie calls exist in the United States. Have you guys ever heard of foodie call? Literally, women line up their whole week with dates so that they can eat every night.
Yes.
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 It's a known fact that happens in the United States. I'm not saying all, but it sure happens. And so,
That's
like,
great.
they think that don't happen in the Philippines. Come on, like,
Yeah, that's true.
like guys are just naive because number one is they choose to be, or number two, like they don't want to look into further. But if I go down the road of the rabbit hole of TikTok, you're gonna see everything. You're gonna see all the stuff that goes on with Filipinas, with Filipino men as well. I'm not saying that Filipino men are not guilty. There's a lot of things that Filipino men do too as well. But in the end, it's just female and male dynamics. That's all that it is. But
Right.
Yeah.
one
Yeah,
thing that you notice is a lot of these guys, they end up with these girls because that even though they say their money counts, their money matters, all this stuff. It's like it doesn't matter if you have money or not. The fact that you're with these type of girls is because subconsciously that's what you deserve. Because
I
if
have
you're
to agree
paying
with
for it,
that.
yeah, if you're paying for it, that means that's what you deserve. Because you pay, that's what you're willing to pay for. Just the best thing ever is like you go to Angeles City, sit in Envy's, sit in Kokomos.
Right.
Those
Yeah,
girls
we like the
in
people
those
watch.
bars are paid for. You can get them out. Like if you are even slightly below decent, slightly below non-decent, your money will get a girl. Okay? So if that's the case, why are you seeing guys walking around with a bunch of girls that are ones and twos? Even though they can pay for them. Because even those guys don't want to approach the better looking girls because they fear rejection, they fear whatever, they approach anxiety, whatever it is. And so that's what ends up happening. And so a lot of these guys don't want to admit it, but look at your woman. That's your reflection of you as a man that you think that you can only get. And it's just the far truth of everything. And because it sucks to think of it that way, but it's also the truth,
Hey,
right?
Mike, I'm free. So
No, you're not. Your man's right
so
next to
see
you.
what he gets for free.
So yeah, that's. But see,
We're
nothing's for
broke,
free.
but we're in love.
Nothing's for free, right?
That's true. And yeah.
Nothing. There's no such thing as free. Just the same thing as guys. We're not free either. So you want some, like, women want something from men. Understand that there is a cost. There's a cost to getting with guys as well.
Right. And remember, it goes both ways, meaning like when in a relationship, normally, whether male or female, they have to have something to bring to the table. And the
Mhm.
problem is most guys don't even analyze what the other person have to bring to the table. I mean, realistically, guys
Mm.
think with the wrong head. I mean, just say.
Ah. Hey, what type of oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You guys the question.
Well, in speaking about that, I was just thinking about that. What do you think she spent all that money on? Do
Right?
you think she gave it to family members or
Yeah.
just blew it? Just
Spread the love. Typically
spread
happens
the
with those type of level women or people and stuff like that. I mean, just look at people that win the lotteries. Most of the time, those people are poor people already, anyways, right? And what happens after 5 years? It's a known fact that 97% of lottery winners go bankrupt within the first 5 years
Yeah.
of their life.
Right.
So there's the thing right there. Because if you don't know what you do to do the money, you get a bunch of it. You think it's just going to keep on coming and coming and coming, and then it doesn't. Because I'm sorry to say, that girl, I swear to God, she was able to get another guy to give her 4,000. She got busted for that. This guy gave her a lot of money already as it is, and then to add to that is that there's other guys that gave her money as well. Like, TikTok is full of simps, right? And I only call guys a simp if you are trying to get a woman's attention by paying. Right? There's a big difference if you met a girl, you got it fair and square, you guys dated, this and that, you want to take care of her, give her what she needs, whatever. That's not simping. That's just you are in a relationship. That's your decision. But if the way you took a woman is to attract her with your money, and the way you're trying to keep her is by giving her money and pedestalizing her, then it's wrong. Did Tess bring up more? Tess, give $20. Don't be a freaking little bitch. Yeah. Share my name all you want. Go ahead. But at least pay the damn fee. Don't be a cheap Canadian.
Right. And guys, again, to some of you, to put into perspective what 4,000 or 5,000 buys here in the Philippines, yes, it will buy you a car for sure, and a decent car.
Oh,
and
4,000? I would buy me a nicely dropped Tamiya Honor. Oh my God.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, no.
The little Jeepneys, the little stainless steel Jeepneys. That's
car,
what I would
stainless steel custom,
$4,000.
yes. They'll build the car from scratch.
Yep.
For 5,000, yes.
Oh yeah. That's what I would get.
And actually, it doesn't even have to be the shape of a Jeepney. You'd be surprised what they make here. They actually make supercars here, but not for 5,000.
Oh, you know what? They have the second gen out now.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about. The where they use a Honda VTEC engine for the interior. I forgot the name of that car, but they have a second generation of that car coming out, which is amazing.
Yeah, you'd be surprised, like I said. And also, now 5,000. Actually, I think Bruce Davis has a question. 5,000 can build your provincial home. I say keyword provincial home, meaning one that doesn't include
she
the
could have
lot.
added a sorry store and some side.
You can have a house built. You'll have a concrete floor. It'll be made mostly out of wood and drywall.
Well, she said she used it for her school.
Well, what I'm saying is 5,000 can build you a drywall house, and it'll look Western, but it's really not real, if that makes any sense. Like, if you basically grab a hammer, you can break into the house. But point being, you can build a provincial home for 5,000.
Right, but remember, she's had a bunch of money in the last few months. So if you break it down, that's about 14,000 USD if it was the whole amount that guy was saying he sent plus what she. but I mean, didn't she say that the guy sent it to her for her schooling? Did she ever mention in that whole Rafi? I didn't remember her mentioning just
Yeah.
nothing but
So she said that she got the 200,000 from one of her fans, and then she messed up and then said that she also received another 100,000 for school. So technically, she actually got 300,000 by the same guy from TikTok.
yeah, so 10 to 12,000. She had a lot of money.
Right. And that being said, again, that's
So,
not just that's what was brought up. That's not all of it. My theory. What I'm saying is usually women like that don't stop at 1, they don't stop at 2, they don't stop at 3. They'll get as many guys as they can, draw them in, and get financial support from them.
Oh,
So
yeah.
don't think it's just one guy. Don't think it's just 2 guys. And so
well,
on
we
and so
talk about
forth.
the other vloggers that we know are actually receiving, the actual funds. Hey, Mike, when I seen your video today, I did get a chance to watch part of it. We were starting the live, but I thought when you put that up there, I thought Jalay was going to pop up.
Oh no. Yeah, that was like that was a sickening video to do. I mean, that was like from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I just did a replay on it. It was kind of sicky for people. But those people exist. Those people exist in the United States. Those people exist all over the world and stuff like that. The thing though is just that Philippines is more notorious for it.
Now, without finishing your video, was it the woman that was recording her kids and they arrested her most recently and they took
Yeah.
the kids from her?
Yeah.
Yeah, very sad. It happens a lot here, and I've heard a few of the surrounding countries. There have been issues where, like I said, they will actually sell them out for a couple bags of rice and cattle and different things like that, and then they end up in brothels, and yeah. But it's like that desperate thing, and I was just talking to George and showing him this morning where they had done the food drops there in Palestine or whatever, and they dropped them
Gaza.
out in the ocean, and they all went out there, and there are people out there with sticks on each other, and it was just like it was sad to watch today. So, but
Yeah, it is. I mean, like those type. I mean, I've done some medical work in Haiti back in the days and stuff like that. So, it sucks to be in that position. It sucks when you have to make that decision. So I mean, for me to say I can't understand why they're doing that, there is some understanding why people do that when they're down and out. I get it.
yeah,
I purely understand it. That doesn't mean that I agree with it. Because in
right.
the end, for
And
me, it's
yeah, and if anything, I mean, worst come to worst, you wouldn't involve kids. I mean, I pimp George out, I pimp myself out. I I would do a cat circus out front. I'd be out there doing tarot cards. Believe me, I got like 101 ideals in my head, and I might combine all 3 of them together: tarot, circus cats, and pimping George out. But to involve the kids, it just
I mean,
you
like,
know.
listen, like, I'm in my group chat with my circle of friends. He's like, my boy was like, bro, I tried something different just for the fun of it, and he took a picture of his wife's feet, right? And he sold it, right? And he sold a picture of his wife's feet, and he sold it for $500.
Oh wow.
Right?
Well, they
So-
got whole websites, yes, where
Yeah,
they
he got $500, but $500 he has to send 3 more photos with some extra stuff that the guy wanted to see, right? So he's like,
yeah, there's a whole site.
he's
for
like,
that.
Mike, I gave that. I said, and my wife was for it, right? And I was like, okay, I get it. That's some feet stuff. There's some nasty people out there. Like,
Well,
I
how about the panty site where they sell the dirty panties and stuff? And these
I know a
women like
couple.
sealed
I
up
know
in
several
bags.
girls that do that.
Well,
Like I do know several girls that have sold used
I don't
panties.
get it.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I totally get it because I remember when everyone was in high school back in the days when you went to homecoming. The next week that you start driving your car, there are some panties hanging in the damn, in the rear view mirror. That
Right,
was
but
like,
that's one thing to say you got the panties and got some, but it's another to sniff on them and stuff. They actually wear them for a week or 2.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that,
I don't
but
know about
like,
that.
The
listen,
women put the same pairs on.
I'm just saying there's guys out there that there's gonna be something for everyone out there, right?
That's
And
true. That's true.
the thing though is which one is the less sickening thing as much as possible. And
That's true.
so it's a crazy thing.
There's
It goes on.
actually an old thing that Heidi used to tell me that she would. You used to tell me you'd drink my bathwater.
Well, yeah, I
Oh,
used to
that's
make a
nasty.
joke
It's a
about.
joke. It's a joke.
That's
but
nasty.
But there are some people like celebrities
They
that
do
put the blood
sell.
around their
They
neck
do
and they
sell
got
the
vials.
bathwater.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
they do sell
bath water
bathwater.
of celebrities. No, it's
And
just a.
and
I
some people
said
drink it in
you're wrong.
YouTube.
I said
Yeah,
I would drink your bath water.
Okay.
That's how much I said I love you.
That's
Still
that's
love
what I
you.
said.
That's fine. I thought you drank it. I was like, that's nasty.
No,
I
no,
was
no, no.
like, I would feel bad. If my listen,
I
like
said I
so,
would. That's how
let me
much I
let,
care.
let me tell you a nice story, right? So
Now I wouldn't let him spit in my mouth if I was in the middle of the Sahara Desert. It's okay now,
my girl, right? Her
You're
friend.
okay, George, but
Oh,
I no longer
there you
want to
go.
drink your bath water.
Like my girl, her one of her good friends, when she got married and stuff like that, and she saw her man was watching prawn videos, right? So she literally was curious because she was a very innocent girl. So she clicked into the prawn site, and she unfortunately saw a video that would probably turn on Donald Trump. So for some reason she decided to do what happened in the video. Let's just say they were only married for 2 weeks. The guy got an annulment.
Oh snap!
Oh, what?
And used what she did on him on the annulment.
Oh,
Because he used that and says that's sick. She gave him a golden shower because she thought that that's what he liked. He doesn't like that stuff. He's not watching it. It just came into the feed when she clicked on the site, and she thought that that's what he watches.
Oh wow! So she did it. Yeah. Whoa.
Well, it's still.
So this is the thing that goes on. Is like there's a lot of sick people out there. And it's all over. So whatever's your cup of tea, but understanding that the other side, the other person next to you is probably not into that stuff.
Somebody just a minute ago said something about in Japan it's like 10 times. I know them Japanese guys are kind of freaky.
No, it's in Japan. It's a little bit different. I mean, it's like Japan's about extremes, right? So they do have some TV shows that makes you wonder. Okay,
yeah, I've seen some of those. Yes.
So it's not like where it's the whole population. It's like people like to see extreme stuff. That doesn't mean that they all want to do it.
It's a subculture.
Exactly. You have to understand that Japan has so many different subcultures.
Right.
You have a bunch of people in Japan who dresses like they're Victorian dolls. That's their thing. There's people that are dressed up into the Mexican lowrider gangster look. It's all these different subcultures that creates. So there's just that nasty, gory thing that people have. And just because it's on TV, that doesn't mean that that's what people want. People want to watch people do some bad stuff and laugh about it. And it's not about that's what Japanese people are into. No, it's hilarious. Because even when I watch those game shows, I start laughing. I was like,
that's hilarious. Yeah,
it's hilarious. But it's not because people watch it because they're like, oh, I want to do that. I want to snip some booties. It's like, no, it's not that's about. So for us to think that in Japan, that's how it is. No, it's not. I mean, just look at the Japan has one of the highest what he calls no sex marriages rates in the world between Japan and South Korea. Those two countries are going to be dying within the next 10 years. The decrease in their population is just one of the most astounding things ever. Like people are paying people in South Korea now to have babies. The government is.
You think that's why we get a lot of Korean and we get a lot of Japanese guys that come to the walking street area and stuff is the sexless marriages?
Well, you see more South Koreans, right? So yeah, because not Japanese as much. But in regards for South Korea, it's not a practice of women to just give it up. Like these girls don't, because they do save it for their marriages in a way and stuff like that. So, then the guys know they come to the Philippines. That's an easy thing that they can pay for. But there's also parts in South Korea where you can pay for, services as well. Those things exist also.
Yeah.
But,
right.
I mean, you see some videos or you meet some South Koreans. There's a lot of South Koreans who like come to the Philippines. Are like, oh, it's different because a lot of people in South Korea feels that Filipinos are, because people don't understand also how Asian people view Asian people,
Yes.
right? And so Philippines is considered jungle Asian by the rest of the Asian communities, right? You know, you have Cambodia, Philippines, Laos. That's jungle Asia. You have the Singaporeans, the Hong Kong, Chinese, Taiwan, Japan, South Korea. Those are non-jungle.
Oh, we were gonna
Like
talk about that.
Asians on Asians have our categories, and people don't understand that. So you understand, South Koreans look down upon Filipinos. But you know, so if people don't understand it, but then of course, then you have the Filipino pride. They're like, no, you know, we're better, this and that. I was like, okay. Beauty pageants, yeah, Filipinos are better.
Yeah, it's some form of like I said, everybody has prejudices. There are some default prejudices country by country. I'm not gonna name, but kind of like, yes, I have experience again other races discriminating against me, but I don't take it personally because I know
Yeah.
that's a culture.
And you're right. That's exactly how it's supposed to be approached. It's like you just have a bad experience with other people, or you know, that's just what's the term that they use that, forgot the term, George. You're probably going to be more knowing about it. But it's just pretty much because you were told that,
Right.
or you heard that, then you start believing that that's how it is, and that's how, and so that's wrong as well, right? It's
Yeah.
like, you know, do you actually have true experience? And even if you have true experience, right, you see a lot of these guys doing this where like, man, Filipinas are 99% scammers. And I always tell people, I'm like, how many Filipinos you dated? 5. How is that possible that you can have a claim that 99% of Filipinos are that? You only dated 5. You know, so it's like
That's what they heard.
it just, you know, I was like, that's your experience. That's
Well,
your belief. And at the same time and I always use this with people, I say, you're the common denominator. So maybe you attract those type of people, or those are the only type of people that you end up dealing with. And I start laughing. How do you know? One guy said he dated 10 Filipinas. I'm like, well, did you date 9 and a 0.9% Filipina or something? Because how can you say 99% are that way if that's the only experience you have? And so, you know, it's funny how it kind of goes. And I say, just, you know, experience. I've met a lot of Laotians. I like Laotian people, right? So I've dated Laotian girls and stuff like that. So it's like, you know, it just depends on who you experience, who you with. Like, I can talk crap about Filipinos if I want to, you know, because I've dealt with lots of Filipinos. I am of that life and stuff like that. But I'm not going to say all of a sudden, like, you know, all Filipinos this or all Filipinos that, because because that's impossible. I know a lot of great Filipinos out there. As
Right.
much
It's
as,
actually
you know,
on the individual themselves. It's a
Mhm.
right,
it's a label that a lot will throw on all of them. So yeah, I agree on that.
right,
So
and
yeah.
there's, again, it's like Mike says, you attract who you attract, and again, like I've dated Filipinos, obviously, and they're all different. There's some that think they're better than others, some think they're not as good as the other ones, and then they try to overcompensate. They're all different. I
What's like
mean,
your Western dating
correct.
too?
And not everybody's
Different day
different.
and night. Yeah.
Now, if you date exactly like Mike said, date the same type, then you're probably trying to fish in the same fishing hole. That's
Mhm.
doesn't work that way. And whenever somebody says that, like for instance, what you said, Mike, um, you can actually tell where they hang out. Unless I even say, let me guess, he hangs out this, and you check his videos, and you're like, or if they're vloggers, and you're like,
Mhm.
yep, that's his hangout, and that's why he catches that type of fish.
Yep. And you know,
Each other's backyard.
you can't say that all Filipinas are bad Filipinas, and I see almost every single one of your videos in walking street.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah. Yep.
Like,
Exactly.
well, let's do the power of deduction here. You know, so it's like, come on. I'm like, you know, I'm like, let's do
Right.
something here.
And now, to be fair, on the same note, um, Again, walking street is just a street. I mean, seriously, there's two streets that they label as walking street. Let's say, because some of you will say, well, not everybody in walking street skeezy. No, because it's just a street. People literally walking down the street to get to home, to go to work, and these are decent women. But put yourself in their shoes. You're a decent woman. You're walking down a skeezy street, and then this expat's trying to pick you up. Would you take that offer if you're a decent woman? Odds are no, because you know this is a red light area, and you already know that particular person is looking for something in particular, and then they're gonna, if you're a a woman and you're walking down that street and an expat tries to pick you up, odds are they're gonna say no. Just saying, because like I said, not walking the street, not everybody is that type of person, but be aware, since it's somewhat a bad area, it's probably hard to get good fish there, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but at the same time, as some guys just have no chill. So like my girl and stuff like that was at the casino, and some guy, some white guy approached her, some old white guy, right? And she's always dressed to the nine, and he unfortunately touched her, tried to make a move on her. Well, he got slapped and he got kicked by her, right? And then one thing, but the best part was because her brother works there also, right? So her brother videotaped it of this guy being literally taken out to the back by security.
Oh wow!
And if you guys get taken out to the back by security in a casino in the Philippines, it doesn't look good for you.
No.
Okay, it doesn't look good for you. So this guy had him, was like, pretty much the guy ended up paying money, all that stuff, so it's like, but paid something by himself as well. But that's the thing, is like, guys need to also be wary about just because you go to walking street doesn't mean all the girls are there, because then at the same time, as if you do something, you can't use that stupid rule, be like, well, she was in a bad area. I was like, just because she's in a bad area, that doesn't mean that you just think that you can disrespect anybody that you want. Like, you also have to watch your P's and Q's as well, because understanding it is a walking street in Angeles City is just one of the street that has the most lights, so people feel safer to be able to just travel from into that direction to go into the main MacArthur street. So because any other streets is not as lighted and could be dangerous at times. So it's like, people need to understand, mind your manners as much as possible. Just don't be disrespecting people just because they're there. Even the fact that I've seen guys disrespect women that are working, and even that is annoying. It's like, and I don't want to like even I'll use two categories that typically do this: the older white guys. And when I say older white guys, I'm talking about the guys that are above 65. These guys typically try to treat some of these Filipinas like cattle, typically. And I'm not saying all, I'm just saying, but that's where you see it a lot. Or the Korean guys. Oh my God, these Korean guys treat these girls like cattle. Like, some of these Korean guys would like even have a flashlight.
Wow.
Like, they'll be like, flashlight. Okay,
wow.
Go back in.
I'm surprised they didn't like open up their mouth and check their teeth or something.
And yeah, I used to be like, whoa, I'm like, that's brilliant. Oh my God, I wish I had the balls to do that. And the reason why these guys do it is because if you flash the regular flashlight, it gets rid of all the house lighting. So then you really see, is that their fair skin or is it matching? Because
well, personally, I would use a black light, and the more splatters I see, that's it right there.
Yeah, don't do an Ace Bachelor cool move and be like, let me wait till she gets out of work and I'm gonna hook up with her because it's cheaper or free. I was like, nah, dude, that's milkshake.
Part of his $1,000 budget.
You're getting an international milkshake. There might be some Korean in there, some Indian in there, some you think that they wash themselves out for real. It's like, get out of here.
All the international boys.
Like,
yeah. Like, so apparently Mike is into snowballs. But anyway.
Don't get mad at the Koreans because they get them before they start working.
International bubble tea is what
you know what a snowball is, right?
Yeah, it must. You know, but like scramble. What flavor scramble is it today? Is it blue? Is it red? Did there's extra powdered, Nido powder in there? Does it come with marshmallows or some chips today? What is it? I was like, come on. But hey, George, just to let you know, what you guys were talking about scramble the other day.
Yeah.
I literally made some today.
Oh, did you?
I made some from scratch.
He ate both those, by the way. He got 2 of them, and they go by like every day. And I said, George, just because I'm, changing my diet up doesn't mean you can't. Before I looked, Mike, he was gone, man. He ran out there. He goes,
no, the reason being, here's the irony with these walking vendors is they move so fast.
Yeah.
Most of the time, once you hear it, by the time you hit the gate, they're already way past you, and you're not gonna run after them.
You really wanted the ice cream too.
Yeah, that's why, I like before I used to just tell the hot guys, I'm like, listen, I only want the hot Saturday, Sunday, and Wednesdays.
Oh, there you go.
That's the only time. That's the only time you can come see me. And I'll buy it for real, right? So I'll give them a schedule when I want it, and I expect them to adhere by it. So because they will, they will knock on your door. Like I used to remember that when I was young, when my dad's the one that taught me, like, this is what you do. So he set schedules for these guys. Like when the pandesal guys, guaranteed every day he's gonna drop a container of bread. Guaranteed. That's done. He'll come back later to get the payment. But like the hot we're only allowed in the weekends for the hot. Then so I learned that that's what you do, because they will be knocking, and sometimes they all be knocking at the same time. What are you gonna do? Say no to them? You kind of feel bad, because
that's what George's saying. Right. We went through that whole thing, and we still do. Like there for a while, it was like there was even a bread man that had his entire bread situation. It had donuts and everything. So then he started coming every day, and we started buying. Like all of a sudden, we had like a pile in the house. I said, "Babe, we got to stop buying that from him." And so we were getting the coconut pandan and the donuts.
Pandan,
And then the whole guy was stopping. The fruit guys were stopping. I said, "Babe, we're starting to go through some money here."
They're like, Boss George.
And then you had the Miranda guy. There was a guy that would come by every day for his snack. And I'm like, oh my God, we're going to go broke this way.
Yeah, and the thing I miss that doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately, and some of you guys can probably relate to this.
What is it?
Mike, do you remember the milk / juice guy where they actually delivered milk in bottles? Did you experience that?
Well, I'm from Chicago, so we have Oberweis milk, which is the best thing ever. They deliver.
Yeah, but I mean here in the Philippines.
In the Philippines, no. I was like,
they did.
Like I gave up on milk in the Philippines just because you back in the days you couldn't get fresh milk anywhere. Like you could only get that in Manila. So so
they had it here in Angels. They delivered milk in bottles and juice in bottles, and it was hermetically sealed.
No, I never. I mean, we had Calabao milk in Negros. That was easy to get. We had Calabao milk, but never have I got those type of deliveries at all. I mean, it's changed. I mean, you can get 2%.
Yeah, it doesn't exist 2% anymore,
in whole now.
Yeah, we can get the Carabao milk depending. Like one time we actually seen it in the mall and got it. Was really good. But yeah, now it's kind of a hit and miss who carries it or not. Most of it's in the containers.
And guys, same thing. Milk. Remember, there's Carabao milk. It's not all equal. Same thing with cow milk. There's this word called pasteurized. Is it easy to get milk? No, it is. It's easy to get milk, but is it easy to get pasteurized milk? It's not. In Carabao milk, me and Heidi has had.
We have it in the boxes if you go into SM and everything.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But that's pasteurized one. But what I'm saying is it's easy to get the non-pasteurized one, but it's probably something I don't recommend.
Yeah, because we asked some woman, where can I get Carabao milk? Because I want to drink it every now and then. And she says, yeah, she just didn't recommend it because she said it tasted kind of gamey or weird to her. So she was
and it smells funny. And
yeah, she said
it smells funny. Carabao cheese is good too.
Yeah.
It's a different taste. Let's just say that. don't expect Carabao milk to be like, milk. No, it's not like that at all. It's It's thick. It's you could even say it has that it even has a cottage cheese type of if you like ever like drink the soupy part of cottage cheese, that's pretty much how I would describe it. But other than
Right.
that, it's okay.
Had some of that last night.
Sounds about right. And
Yeah.
usually people put salt in it to kind of make it more
I never tried
palatable.
it with salt. I know,
Yeah.
but like Nido's fine with me. Nido, birch tree. Well, I don't even know if birch tree's still around.
No, birch tree is. That's what we were
Okay.
actually using for a while. So because to me that had the most natural flavor.
You can make cheese out of birch tree.
Okay, yeah. So mine was when I was growing up was birch tree, Nido, and Klim.
Yeah.
Oh, Clem.
And if people who don't know what Klim is, it's just milk spelled backwards. But that was a
Yeah,
powdered milk
Klim.
also. But that was a cheap one. So like that was the one that our maids would have. But so when I ran out of birch tree, so it was birch tree, Nido, then Klim. And so if
Yeah.
I ran out of Nido or birch tree, I'll just go to my my yaya's area and be like, "Can I get some Klim?" So I used to just have that. But but now it's always been Nido for me. Nido this.
Yeah, and I
Nido that.
believe Walmart in the US actually sells Nido.
No,
Mexican
it does.
section.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all of the
Mexican section.
Walmarts I've been to, they carry
That's what we
Nido.
got in Mexico too.
Yeah.
Mexican
So
section.
George's like,
Yeah.
hey, they got Nido.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hey, did you see where we did the thing on Mark Thornton? He says he's writing a novel.
I was hearing that in the background while I was cleaning the kitchen. So
Just being
yeah,
nice,
I heard
yeah.
that. The
With
creep,
all his
creep
Billy
something?
buy-in boxes, which I'm sure he's following the rules of under 2,700.
You know, you can. A lot of people gets away with the bulk buying stuff. The bulk buying box stuff. I mean, what's funny is those bulk buying box companies in the States should be the one warning and saying you can't do this because it's
Right.
actually their responsibility because they're accepting it from him. So
Right.
technically, there's several people that can get in trouble with this. Can he? Sure, if the spotlight's hit them, some Filipinos want to complain about it. He
Yeah, I
can
mean,
get.
he spotlighted himself, and he also said that I sent him to myself, and he addresses. At least he could have been like undercover brother and said, "Oh, these were sent from my wife," But he puts it on there. He leaves his address on the front of the box, and he's going to reveal one every day of what the contents were. But what caught me is when he said he was writing a novel called The Creeper.
Did he really call it the creeper?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Somebody already said it's a novel that's already out, but he was serious about it, the jack of all trades. And so, yeah, George will run it here in a minute. It's the one at the top, babe. Well, you can run the.
Well, that's just the picture. But
Yeah, so show the photo. That's fine to
Yeah,
show the
that's just a
photo, but
picture.
it's just an AI generated.
That's not him, but it really looks like him though.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So, but no, he actually said that we generated an AI photo, but he just said that that's what he was doing, and he sent a bunch of his own knickknacks. So he went through saying, "Oh, well, these are my special coasters I got from Greece, and this ashtray I got."
Who
Or
packed it all up for him though?
Huh?
Who packed his buying boxes for him?
He did.
He did.
Individually, he sent them,
he
paid
literally
for
sent
them
them to
himself.
himself.
Yes.
He sent them to
Was he?
himself.
Did he recently go to the U.S. or something?
Yes, he went. This was his trip 3 months ago. They
Yeah.
now just arrived, but he
Oh,
packed his
okay.
own boxes up.
Got it.
A lot of it was the stuff his previous kids, his other kids sent him or gave him over the years. So the funny thing is watch Jen's face as she takes out these items. I think she's disappointed. Like she goes, "Man, you sure got a lot of rocks in these boxes." He sent a bunch of rocks and petrified wood to himself. And
Oh, so he's clearing out
looked
his. He's pretty much
disappointed in
clearing out
some of the
his.
stuff that came out.
He's
Well,
cleaning out his storage. Pretty much is what he's doing in the U.S. and
Yeah.
he's just bringing everything. But because the thing is, you have to understand Filipinos' idea of what a buying box is. There's going to be some little goodies, right? So like
Yeah.
and I used to remember opening up those buying
And
boxes.
well,
when
and
my
the
grandma would
stuff
send it.
the
not
stuff from
good.
his kids too might have been a little bit of a shock because he's talking about hanging it all over the house. And I mean, I get it. It's his kids, the previous kids, they're grown. I know one of them. is autistic and everything, but it's just the way he's like, well, we're going to hang this here and we're going to do this here. And the expression on her face says everything. So, with the new baby coming and everything. So she's probably pretty emotional right now, but it showed.
Well, and I mean, in all fairness, too, be aware that there's an old saying, you can reverse it, and it's true. One man's treasure is somebody else's trash. To him, those are valuable, but to her, they're like, what is this junk?
Yeah, because like she held up where it looked like the daughter had made some little sunshine that was hand painted, and it's kind of different. And he's talking about hanging it up on the wall. Well, he looks like they're trying to get a certain vibe in their house of,
She's gonna get territorial, especially her, nesting phase. She's in a nesting phase, so she's gonna get territorial soon. Like that may actually cause some problems.
Well,
So,
that's what I'm saying. The look on her face, several items. One said number one dad and all of this. And he kept saying, so and so made this for me, so and so. And he kept talking about the old kids. And I know it would get to me. So it's kind of like I put myself in her shoes when I seen her, And so I think she was expecting things for the baby out of the first boxy. But it looks like it actually had the number on it. So he chose that box first. It said number 3 on it. So, but
Probably
yeah.
took notes. He probably knows what's going to be in each box when he does his little review. He probably planned this. He goes, I'm going to do how many boxes were there?
It looked to be 10 to 12. He spent 1,200, but he already admitted that because that one or two of them were a bigger size than the others. But I don't think these were all of them. Is this this is the video that'll show. There were more than that because she had one or two on the other side. So he said he spent 1,200 to ship them to himself, and it had his name on it and all that. So,
well,
yeah,
I mean,
and you could tell a foreigner made those boxes. Like that, if a Filipino packed those boxes, they'll be like a little bit protruding. Right? Look at the top part. It dipped. That ain't gonna happen to no Filipino wrap box.
When George packed the boxes that we shipped here, okay, because George, we had sent some here. No, his mom even gave him some pointers, and George, he's like sticking styrofoam in there and clothes around things and everything in a plastic bag.
Yeah, we packed the box about 2 inches higher than the box, and then it should be on top to pack it in, and then duct tape it.
And then before they put, because these are like this was within the past 10 years where they're putting these like these packaging things right here to want to make it tighten. Like you're still supposed to put rope in it, like wrap it up, on each side. Know how to. It's like you're doing like some weird Japanese torture thing, whatever. Because you need that rope in order, because it's gonna pop open if you don't put the rope. And then they put this as an addition.
And then George taped the outside with
multi-layer, technically
duct tape. I mean, the thing was
like buying boxes were almost waterproof.
Yeah,
pretty much.
See, look at that. That you could tell a foreigner made that box. Just because it's like that is not how a Filipino does.
If it shakes, then it's not acceptable to a Filipino.
Exactly. If it shakes, there's space. There's air in there that you can pack something
on. This shall be interesting. I'll be interested just to see what he put in there because I'm watching her face. He probably won't put her on there after this, but the look on her face. Oh, and then his expensive equipment that was dangling. So he had a whole 99 peso mic dangling off of what do you call that? Like a little catapult. Like a mic stand. He put this little 99 peso mic hanging off the end for her to talk in.
This is a 99 peso mic right here.
It's not, Mike.
Well, like I have a Blue Yeti, and I hate using that mic.
Oh, the Yeti.
I have a Yeti. It feels like sometimes I'm doing like ASMR and stuff like that. It hears everything.
Oh, yeah.
It's Mike, annoying to me.
Forget your Yeti. You need a big cup.
Oh, do you got your big cup?
You got the big cup. You're a little behind, Mike. It's not Yeti anymore. It's all about the big cup.
No, babe. Yeti, the microphone, the company. Yeti.
Oh.
Yeah, Blue Yeti.
He's thinking of the cups.
I was talking about the cups. Yeah, sorry, Mike. I'm a little derailed here.
What's the cup?
He's been derailed for a couple of days since I jarred him loose.
Right?
I'm like, am I behind on...
Yeah, no,
Carabao milk is
Carabao is
gamey.
it.
Carabao milk
Carabao
is
is
gamey.
it tastes unpasteurized one. Kind of tastes almost like goat's milk. It's somewhat similar,
Yeah, it is
not necessarily the
very
same, but
similar to goat's milk.
yeah.
Well,
There's Perez Hilton, but unfortunately he hasn't made any comments or whatever.
what are you talking
What?
That guy.
Perez Hilton? Where?
Yeah, and what I'm saying is yeah.
about? Yeah, we're about to wrap this up. Anyways, we have to head out.
No, we have somebody in our green room, which again, guys, again,
Does
you
he
can
have? Does he have a beard?
No, that's the
No.
thing. No cam,
Never
no
heard
nothing.
this name. No
Never heard
cam.
him. Never seen him. Again, I'm not picking
Yeah,
on you, Perez Hilton.
it's this guy with a beard. See,
Yeah, and
it's this guy who like does moonshine.
oh,
I
is
think
that
I
what
know
it
it
is?
is. Yeah, because he says I'm the Perez Hilton of the Philippines, so that's why he's probably
Oh,
using
he says
Perez
hi,
Hilton.
let me on. That's what he says. And again,
Well, here's the thing. He doesn't even have a photo at all. And unfortunately, we've never even seen that name in our room. So
Anyways,
I
guys, Perez Hilton, come to my channel after this. I'm gonna go, guys. I gotta do a live.
all
I
right.
forgot.
We're going to wrap it
Yeah.
up too.
I forgot.
Always got a live. Yeah,
always
we're
got
gonna-
a live. All right.
All right, guys, we're gonna wrap this up too and say quick goodbyes and everything. We got to head out and we're gonna go out and do some grocery shopping, and we got a bunch of stuff to do. So we appreciate everybody dropping in, all of our members, and everybody that joined us today. Bruce Davis,
There's
George.
Bruce.
We got
Hey,
Sarah.
Bruce.
Oh, sorry, sweetie. Yeah, we're already. Usually we stay the third hour. Let's see what
Thank you
else
so
we got
much.
in there.
Appreciate you.
We had Sarah and
Bruce,
Victoria,
Ted,
Scott in the world
World
as I see it.
Kiki was here with us.
Tess came in to give a
Kiki gave
hard
us the
time.
coin.
Bruce said, hey,
Chosen
we
one
had
was with
Ace
us.
Bachelor was in the house
Yeah.
today. I'll still get together and we could team up to do something. Hi, sweetie.
Yeah, the big banana. Tess Mensador was with us today. Thank you so
Wow.
much. Appreciate you.
Man, you guys are awesome.
Oh, thank you so
Aw,
much,
thank
Bruce.
you.
Appreciate you. Check out Bruce. He's got his own channel. Great guy. Carl was with us today. Will Smith was with us today.
Have a good day, guys. Have a good day, people there. God bless. Bye-bye.
Short
Have a good
Tori was in the house. We'll be back soon, guys. Thank you guys for all being here and your big support. We appreciate
Oh,
it.
Shirai Toro was with us. Thank you so much, Shirai.
And just look
Thank you so
for
much.
every
Appreciate you.
Saturday we're going to do where we come in and do like what we did today. Slow start. At least my caffeine kicked in and everything. And look for us on Tuesday. It'll be probably the next time.
Yeah.
Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays Philippine time, about 10:30. It depends. Bye, guys. God
Thanks so
bless,
much.
and we'll see you guys soon.
Bye, guys.